Hey everyone, my name is Justin. On the first look, I look like a normal teenager with a normal life. But the reality is far from that. Today, I'm going to share my peculiar story with you. Before I begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to show your support. My parents separated when I was 5 years old. My dad remarried soon after, and now I had a stepmother and 2 stepsisters. Rebecca, my stepmother, was straight out of some nightmare. She absolutely hated my guts and never missed an opportunity to make that clear. Whenever my dad was on a business trip, she used to send the servants away and force me to do all the chores. Once, she even burned my textbooks so that I couldn't prepare for my exams. When my dad got back and inquired about it, this is what she said. "I asked Justin to focus on his studies, so he got mad and burned the books in his rage. I was so scared. How can a kid even imagine doing such things?" My dad believed her, of course, and locked me up in the basement for 2 days. This was his way of punishing me. Whatever. It was much better than seeing Rebecca's face. You must be wondering what my stepsisters were like. Well, I had expected them to be evil and cruel like Rebecca, but turned out that was not the case. Hannah and Jenny were really kind to me. It was a pity that they couldn't go against their mother. They wanted to help me, but Rebecca was observing their every move. Still, when I was locked in the basement, Hannah and Jenny used to sneak in there to meet me. They even used to bring me food so that I wouldn't have to starve. They were more of a family to me than my own dad. When I was 16 years old, Hannah and Jenny were 18 and 19 respectively. They could have moved out if they wanted, but they stayed back for me. And I couldn't be any more grateful, because they were the only people that I could rely on. One day while we were having dinner, Dad casually asked me if I wanted anything. I was a bit surprised. Why would he care about that? "I'm just asking because your sisters felt bad that you didn't receive any birthday presents from us," Dad clarified. "They are more generous than you ever could be, but still you've done nothing but cause trouble for them." Oh, right. Rebecca had made me out to be a problematic kid. She always used to frame me for this and that, and ruin my impression on everyone. Hannah and Jenny tried their best to defend me, but no one believed them. According to my dad, they were only being nice to me. Anyway, I told my dad that I didn't need anything from him, but Hannah insisted. Then, "I want a personal phone," I said hesitantly. "Right now, I have to ask my friends whenever I need something. It's really bothersome for them, too." "Are you kidding me?" Rebecca exclaimed. "Why does a kid like you need a phone? All you need are textbooks. Stop fooling around and focus on your studies." I knew she would say something like that. "I was talking to Dad," I said coldly. "And I'm not sure if you know this, but studying without a phone and laptop is impossible nowadays." "I think Rebecca's right," Dad spoke up. "You don't need a phone. Forget I asked anything."
"Dad, please, why can't you just give it to him?"
Jenny pleaded.
"I can't afford it right now,"
he replied stupidly. He had a multi-million-dollar empire after which Rebecca was drooling, and he wasn't able to afford a simple phone? Who was he kidding? "Leave it. I don't need it," I sighed. "I'll manage somehow." Rebecca smirked like the evil stepmother she was. My dad ignored us, and my stepsisters gave me a sad look. After that day, I started doing a part-time job, and within a few weeks, I had enough money to buy myself a phone and a laptop. I gotta admit, my life had become a lot easier now. But, of course, this didn't sit well with Rebecca. I had no idea that she would use this opportunity to frame me again. I woke up one day to loud banging on my door. I opened the door to come face to face with my dad and Rebecca. Without giving me an explanation, Dad barged into my room and started inspecting my laptop and phone. "What's going on?" I asked in confusion.
"When did you buy these? And how?"
he fumed. "I earned them from a part-time job," I replied, "and I bought them only recently." Rebecca started sobbing.
"Why are you lying? I never saw you leave the house except for school."
"What?" I exclaimed. "What do you mean? I even informed you about it. You made a big fuss and even slapped me. How could you forget?"
"Justin, enough with your lies," Dad bit out. "We know that you stole the money from my room."
"What are you talking about?" I asked in disbelief. "I never even stepped inside your room."
"Don't lie, Justin."
Rebecca shook her head.
Didn't you say you wanted to borrow my charger? I told you to get it from my room. I had no idea that your real intentions were something else. If you wanted money that badly, you could have just asked.
Oh, I knew where this was going. She had stolen the money herself, and now she was accusing me. I was really astonished at her acting skills, though. It would have fooled me too if I wasn't the victim.
I'm ashamed to call you my son!
Dad yelled.
Get out of here right now! I don't want to see your face ever again!
Ha! The feeling was mutual. Without a word, I started packing my things right in front of them.
What do you think you're doing? Rebecca asked. None of those things are yours. And since we've disowned you now, you can't claim to have a share in anything related to this family. Just do us a favor and see yourself out.
I didn't protest, because it was no use. Rebecca had planned everything and turned my dad against me. Anything I say would fall on deaf ears. I walked out of the house and didn't turn back, even once. To be honest, it didn't hurt that much. I was prepared for something like this to happen sooner or later. The owner of the shop where I used to work took me in for a night. I could keep working and bear my expenses. It may be difficult, but it was better than living with my dad and Rebecca. The next day, however, as soon as my classes got over, I walked out to see Hannah and Jenny waiting for me. "What are you doing here?" I asked them in surprise. "I don't think we should meet, or Rebecca will scold the two of you."
"Nonsense," Hannah said. "Do you know how shocked we were to find out that you had been kicked out? We even had a big argument with Mom," Jenny asked.
"At least she treats the two of you nicely," I smiled. "Don't ruin your relationship because of me."
"We don't want that kind of mother," Hannah replied. "And this time, she went a bit overboard. Jenny and I have decided to move out. Dad has agreed to pay for our new house and all."
"Oh, wow! That's great for you," I said.
"You're coming with us too," Jenny informed, grabbing my hand.
"Good thing that Dad disowned you. Now we can legally adopt you."
"Wait, what? Adopt me?" I asked in shock. "What does that mean? And how does that work?"
"Don't worry about that, Justin," Hannah smiled. "We've made all the arrangements. You just have to meet our lawyer and sign some papers." And that is how I was adopted by my stepsisters. I still couldn't believe it. Rebecca was fuming when she heard about this. She came to our house and started yelling at me.
"What did you say to my daughters?" she fumed. "I know they wouldn't have done it otherwise. You've been trying to seduce them since the very beginning."
"What the heck?
Has she really lost it now? Mom, what are you saying?" Hannah appeared in the living room. "Who allowed you to get in here?"
"Seduce us, you say?" Jenny laughed. Then, jokingly, she locked her arm with mine.
"Yes, you are right, Mom. He seduced us. We love him. Why else do you think we adopted him?"
"Sadly, you can't do anything about it now." Rebecca looked like she was going to explode.
"Just you wait," she threatened. "I will bring your dad here and show him what's happening behind our backs." "It's happening right in front of you," Jenny smirked, then planted a kiss on my cheek. "See? You are helpless. You can't control us anymore, Mom."
I knew that Jenny was just trying to rile up Rebecca, but dang, I wasn't sure if this was right. And knowing Dad, he would blame me. Hannah and Jenny told me not to worry about it. The next day, Rebecca came back with Dad. And before Dad could start accusing me of anything, Hannah came forward and showed him proof of my part-time job.
"He never stole money from you," she continued. "It was Mom who stole it to buy dresses for herself. And Mom has always mistreated Justin and made up lies to turn you against him."
Dad seemed completely taken aback by her words.
"If it is true, then why didn't you tell me sooner?"
"Oh, we wanted to," Jenny replied. "But you were always on your business trips, and we thought that maybe Mom would improve. But no, she just kept doing horrible things. Well, we're telling you now, this woman is only after your wealth."
Rebecca looked like she had seen a ghost. She started stuttering and making excuses, but Dad didn't listen to her. He quietly asked me to come back home. "Why?" "I don't want to live that kind of terrible life again," I told him. "I'm happy here." He hung his head in shame.
"I'm at fault. I never paid attention to what was happening to you. I thought that you were bratty and materialistic like your mom. But I was wrong. I completely understand if you don't want anything to do with me. But still, please, give me a chance to make it up to you.
His apology was sincere. I didn't want to harbor any negative feelings towards him because Rebecca was the main culprit. I decided to give him a chance. If he messed up again, I was out for good. And thus, I came back home. This time, I became the favorite child of the family, and everyone used to dote on me. My dad gave me full freedom to order Rebecca around. If she ever tried anything with me, she would be kicked out. I didn't want to torture her much, but I certainly wanted her to experience the pain that I went through. That's why I often sent the servants away and made her do the chores. And once, Hannah accidentally burnt all her precious clothes. Oh, did I mention that we also accidentally dropped her phone and broke it? Dad refused to pay for the repair, and she had to take up a part-time job just to buy a new phone. In the end, she gave in and apologized to me through tears. That was all I needed to move on from that terrible phase of my life.
Thanks for watching the video. Leave your story ideas in the comments below. We may animate the most interesting ones and credit the author in the video. Make sure to activate the notifications so as to not miss the next one.